Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we've got some really cool stuff to cover for Pokemon Unite. We're actually going to be breaking down the top 100 master players, or the highest ranked players in Pokemon Unite, and which Pokemon they have used as their main to ultimately get to that point in the game. And also, we're gonna take a look at the #1 players' recommended item guides for every single Pokemon in this video. So if you were learning Pokemon Unite, you wanna know which Pokemon are the most meta relevant picks and what the #1 player in the world right now thinks is the best items, this video is for you. Be sure to like the video if you guys enjoy it, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and let's jump into things. Before we jump into the video, I want to thank my friends at Skillshare for sponsoring today. For those who don't know what Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators and anyone with a fire that needs igniting. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. You can take classes in almost anything from graphic design to marketing, entrepreneurship, and even photography. For me, I really enjoyed watching Context is Key, Social Media Strategy in a Noisy Online World by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary's actually one of my role models online, and he's really changed my perspective on business. His course gives real-life case study examples that puts his words into actions and helps you understand how to make the most out of your social media marketing. Getting lessons from the best is simply invaluable. The beautiful thing, there are no ads on Skillshare, and it's specific for your learning. They continue to launch new premium classes so you can explore your creative passions and broaden your horizons. And get this, it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. Educating yourself today is one of the best things you can do to strengthen your future self. So right now, the first 1,000 aDrive Army members who click the link in the description below get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Do something today that you couldn't do yesterday and click the link in the description below and sign up for Skillshare. Thanks to my friends at Skillshare for sponsoring today. So big shout outs to Kin Roa for compiling this data on Reddit. I'm a big frequenter of the Pokemon subreddit, or Pokemon Unite subreddit rather. I've been following that subreddit since it had about 3,000 followers. It's up at like 60,000 now. It's actually been pretty wild. But here's the data for the top 100 players in Pokemon Unite and the people that are in Masters Division and which Pokemon are utilized most. First, we see Cinderace here. 22 of the top 100 are Cinderace mains, which leads me to believe that Cinderace may be one of the most powerful Pokemon. Cinderace in jungle or in the middle of the map can be incredibly powerful as it's able to evolve relatively quickly and can deal massive range damage attacks. Then we see Eldegoss, a top support Pokemon. 16 of the top 100 players are actually utilizing Eldegoss, which is a small change from a few days ago, but ultimately Eldegoss provides an incredible amount of support, being able to heal its allies and provide a lot of team support with slowing mechanisms, damage over time on the opponent, and again, just providing great team support. Lucario, our third ranked Pokemon, where 12 out of the top 100 people are using. Lucario, the best all-arounder. I think there's no real debate about that. Its power-up punch, once it gets it at level 5, can be absolutely devastating for stealing objectives like Zapdos, Dreadnought, and more, as well as just getting kind of the farm against any of the Pokemon. Its movement speed and dynamic ability makes it just an incredible top pick, so I'm not surprised to see it as the #3 Pokemon so far. Snorlax is ranked #4 with 9 out of the top 100 players using Snorlax as their main. Snorlax is so devastating as the premier defender in the game and very easy to use, being able to take advantage of things like Heavy Slam and primarily Block, which can actually wall off an entire team from an objective, which is absolutely mind-blowing. In lane, Snorlax is so devastating, so again, not surprised to see it here on this list. #5 is Ninetales, where 7 out of the top 100 players are utilizing Ninetales. Ninetales has a lot of really cool things going for it. Its basic attack is one of the best in the game. Avalanche is super good. Blizzard, Aurora Veil. There's just so many things that Ninetales can do in lane, and it's so powerful because of that. Freeze is such a good mechanic in Pokemon Unite, and Ninetales really takes advantage of that. Gengar, which many of you guys would probably think to be the best Pokemon. Gengar dominating the lower tiers of the ranking system right now and dominating casual play, but only 6 out of the top 100 players are actually maining Gengar right now, and we'll see with the addition of Gardevoir whether or not that's going to remain consistent, because Gardevoir matches up relatively well against Gengar, especially with its synchronized. If you can stay at range, Gengar is going to get shredded either way. But ultimately, Gengar's Sludge Bomb and Hex combo lends itself to be one of the most powerful and devastating combos in the game. Number 7 is Slowbro. 5 of the top 100 players are utilizing Slowbro. So Slowbro takes a little notch down from Snorlax as a premier defender, but Slowbro has a lot of things going for it. We know about its Surf, which allows it to actually move around the map a little faster. It hits very, very hard with that. And I think the big thing for me is Telekinesis. I'm not sure if these people are running Amnesia or not, but to me, Telekinesis and paired with the right striker, the right attacker, can actually be devastating because you just nullify that target for a few seconds there and really kind of devastate them. Number 8 is Zeraora. Zeraora is 5 out of the top 100. We know what Zeraora can do, an incredible jungler, being able to slash its enemies and then move around the map with Volt Switch and Discharge to deal massive AoE damage. Very, very strong. Surprisingly enough, Cramorant here, which I've actually seen ranked pretty high for some people. Cramorant's early game is insane with Whirlpool. Surf is super good on Cramorant. 4 out of the top 100 utilizing that. Machamp and its submission coming in with also 4 out of the top 100. Charizard just received what I believe to be a buff because Muscle Band previously wasn't working for it. Charizard, a physical attacker and all-arounder, getting that, and now it is 3 out of the top 100. Greninja with also 3 out of the top 100. Pikachu, 3 out of the top 100. And last but certainly not least is Absol with 1 Absol main in the top 100 Masters. Pokemon like Venusaur, Wigglytuff, Talonflame, Crustle, Mr. Mime, and Garchomp had no representation in the top 100 of Pokemon Unite players in the Masters division. So what does all this information mean? What can we do with this? I think first of all, this is really good to understand what the metagame is, because while the game is incredibly fresh, there is a metagame developing right now, and we can see that taking place, and it seems as though from this list, Pokemon like Cinderace, Lucario, Snorlax, and Ninetales are almost must-haves on almost any team composition. Specifically, Snorlax and Cinderace, I think, are 2 of the top ones. Eldegoss is another one that we've seen utilized a lot, again, as a supporter role, because there's no other Pokemon that can really do what Eldegoss does right now until we probably get Blissey. We'll have to see how that plays out. But ultimately, Cinderace seems to be the king of Pokemon Unite right now. Again, despite the fact that most newer players, and myself included a few days ago, would have most certainly put that title to Gengar or Zeraora, Cinderace is the one that is the most main Pokemon by far in the top 100 of Masters. Interesting stuff. Now, what's super duper cool here is we actually have this post from the #1 master in Pokemon Unite, and this popped up on Reddit as well, so I'll link that in the thread below or in the description below. But this actually breaks down every single recommended item by the #1 player for each Pokemon. Now, I do want to say that it's very likely that this person who is the #1 player at the moment of making this hasn't played extensively every single character. So take this list with a grain of salt, but I think this is a really good baseline for us to learn, right? Because this person obviously knows what they're doing to get to that rank. So they've listed things like Lucario running Muscle Band, Scope Lens, and Floatstone to move around. We've got Machamp with Muscle Bands, Scope Lens, and actually anytime you see the dividers, I believe the 2 dividers are if they're top lane or bottom lane. So top lane would be the first one, bottom lane would be the second option. And that's because the farms are slightly different in top and bottom lane. So Charizard, they actually have Energy Amplifier on this. Floatstone and Muscle Band. Snorlax with the Focus Band. Buddy Barrier, which has become one of my favorite held items. And then top lane Assault Vest, bottom lane XP Share. Cinderace getting the Muscle Band as well, Floatstone, and then either Scope Lens or Buddy Barrier. Gengar with the Shell Bell, the Wise Glasses, and the Special Attack Specs. Slowbro also running that Focus Band, Buddy Barrier. Same setup as Snorlax, as you can see, those defenders running a similar setup. Cramorant with the Shell Bell, Wise Glasses, and either Buddy Barrier or Energy Amplifier. Ninetales with the Shell Bell, Wise Glasses, Buddy Barrier. You can see all these. Very interesting breakdown here for all of these various Pokemon. Crustle, actually, with the Focus Band, Buddy Barrier, and either Score Shield or Assault Vest. It's radically different than what I've been running on my Crustle. I've been running various things like Rocky Helmet, Assault Vest. I like Buddy Barrier for sure. Like, I've been running Buddy Barrier on almost anything that's supportive or defensive. But very interesting stuff. Mime running the glasses, the Shell Belt, or the Focus Band, depending on its lane. Garchomp, of course, with the Floatstone. A lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward and does align to a lot of the things that we had kind of talked about in a previous video talking about those different held items. But it's just interesting to see a top player kind of break all this out. Looking at the next sheet here, we see the XP share being utilized on Eldegoss, an item that's not super common, but on a Pokemon like Eldegoss, which generally isn't going to be taking too much of the farm, it's nice to have that XP share so I can kind of keep up with the rest of the team. You see Venusaur with Shell Bell, and of course either Special Attack Specs or that band, of course, the Focus Band. Wigglytuff with Shell Bell. This is a really, really good baseline, though, for you guys. depending on the characters that you're maining, to understand which items you should prioritize at this point in time. The common themes for me are Shell Bell, Muscle Band, Float Stone, Buddy Barrier. Some of those items you can see are utilized on a handful of Pokemon, so this serves as an incredible baseline for you guys to get a reference on which items you should be upgrading first to most take advantage of the Pokemon that you plan to play in Pokemon Unite. I've been diving into all of this information and so much research over the last few days as I continue to learn Pokemon Unite myself in my first MOBA experience. I'm all the way in Ultra Tier 2 at the time of making this video, and I'm making my climb to Master Rank, which is where I think the real journey begins, as again, I continue to learn this genre, learn this game, and have a great time. I've been having a blast. If you guys are interested in watching my streams, I stream every day at twitch.tv/aDrive, learning Pokemon Unite, playing with a bunch of other Pokemon YouTubers and beyond. Austin John, Munching Orange, Shady Penguin, Wolf Click, we're gonna get some games with Mystic 7 and many, many more. We've been having so much fun. Reversal has been an incredible Cinderace. We've been having a blast. So tune in at twitch.tv/aDrive. Thank you again to Skillshare for our sponsor for today. And thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I find this information to be incredibly interesting, and it really gives us an understanding of how this metagame is shaking out and what items, the premier items to utilize in Pokemon Unite. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.